The envelope arrived in an unmarked manila folder. It was thick, heavy, the kind of heavy that comes not from weight, but from what you already know is inside. I stared at it for a full hour. When I finally opened it, the photos fell out like knives. Hotel lobbies, candlelit dinners, a blurry shot of them holding hands in the back seat of a cab, and Madison smiling. Smiling in a way she hadn't smiled at me in months. The pie was thorough. Receipts, timestamps, even audio from the bar where Eric said, "I'm glad she still doesn't know." Except now I did. I spent the night on the couch, her phone in my hands. I knew her passcode same as her birthday. I hated that I knew it. The texts were worse than the photos. Not just sexual, but intimate. Inside jokes, pet names, future plans. She told him she was scared to hurt me, that I deserved better. Ironic. The next morning, I made her coffee. She kissed my forehead, told me I looked tired. "You okay?" she asked. I nodded. Didn't he sleep well? I watched her sip her drink, wondered how many times she had sat across from me, with his touch still on her skin. That night, I asked her to sit down. She did, cross-legged on the couch, hoodie oversized hair messy. The woman I'd known for almost a decade. I took out the photos, said nothing, just laid them on the table one by one. She didn't speak for a long time. Didn't he cry? Didn't he deny? When she finally spoke, her voice was flat. I never meant for it to happen. I laughed an ugly, bitter sound. You accidentally fell into another man's hotel bed. Madison closed her eyes. It wasn't he like that. I stood up. Pacing, shaking, then explain it to me. Make it make sense. She tried. Told me she felt lost, unseen, that I'd become too routine, too safe, that Eric was unexpected, that it made her feel alive again. "I love you, Jack," she said. I never stopped. "But you loved him too." She didn't answer. The next few weeks were a strange purgatory. We didn't separate, not yet. We went to counseling, tried to talk. Some days she cried in my arms. Others I couldn't even look at her without feeling rage. We slept in the same bed, but our backs faced each other. We ate dinner together, but the silence was thicker than the food. I remember once she reached for my hand, and I flinched. Not because I didn't want to be touched, but because I couldn't. He remembered the last time that touch. Didn't he carry guilt? One night she asked, "Do you think you could ever forgive me?" I stared at the ceiling. I don't know. She was crying. I heard it. Quiet sobs muffled into her pillow. That used to break me now, it just made me tired. I started spending more time outside, going on long drives alone, sitting in diners just for the sound of other people's voices. I began journaling, something I hadn't done since college, trying to make sense of who I was before her and who I'd become with her. Madison noticed. She asked if I was seeing someone. I told her no, She didn't he believe me. The irony wasn't he lost on either of us. Then came the night I knew it was really over. She came home early from work. Said she was ready to cut things off with Eric fully. Finally said she wanted to go away for a weekend. Try to reset. Try to fall in love again. But I looked at her and felt nothing. I didn't he hate her. I didn't he want revenge. I just didn't he want this anymore. The next morning I woke up before sunrise. I stood in our kitchen, looked at the counter, where I had once set the rosemary chicken, the dinner that changed everything. I packed a bag. She watched me from the kitchen doorway. Said so that ASAP. I nodded. Yeah, that ASAP. She started crying, not begging. Just soft, broken sobs. I almost turned around. Almost. But I didn't. Because the thing about betrayal is that it changes the air. You breathe it differently. Sleep with one eye open. Love like it's a job. I wanted more as I drove away. The city looked different. Colder. Quieter. But my chest felt lighter than it had in months. Madison called a few times after that. Left voicemails. Said she missed me. Said she was sorry. I didn't he respond. I didn't he hate her. But I didn't to love her anymore either. And that's the kind of truth that doesn't come in an envelope. It comes slowly. Like healing. Like peace. Like coming home to yourself.